Well, the first time in almost 50 years, NASA is ready for its next outer space mission. The Artemis 1 mission is scheduled to launch Monday morning, very early Monday morning. You can see the map of the mission right here. The Unmanned Space Launch System rocket will carry the Orion spacecraft, which will go beyond the moon before it then comes back to Earth. Orion will travel farther than any other spacecraft built for humans has ever flown. Joining us now to talk about the historical launch is NASA Ambassador Tony Rice. Tony, can you just fill us in on just how important this launch is and this mission is, not only for NASA, but the United States?
So you touched on it a little bit there. We haven't been to the moon in more than 50 years. So that's really what this is about, is building a rocket that is going to have the capability of taking us beyond low Earth orbit. We've done some fantastic things in low Earth orbit with the International Space Station, but that's really been serving as a laboratory for these kind of missions that are going to take us to the moon and then, one day on to Mars. This is a very capable rocket. I've stood 10 feet away from this rocket. I was down there a couple years back when it rolled out of the assembly facility down in New Orleans, and it's just an absolutely amazing piece of technology. And you'll see some things on here that you probably recognize too. The giant orange tank that's directly off of the space shuttle program. Those white pencil-looking solid rocket motors on the side, again from the space shuttle program. So it's really taken some of the best technologies from previous missions and building it into what is honestly the most powerful rocket that has ever been built.
For those of us who lived through the history of the Apollo program and then at least saw the movie of what can go wrong when you try to go to the moon, talk to us about how scary this program could be.
Well, it could be, and that's why this launch on Monday is so important. It's an uncrewed launch, so there's going to be a number of, basically crash test dummies on board that have a lot of instrumentation that's available with them. The purpose of this mission, in large part, is to demonstrate all of these technologies, to make sure this capsule is going to function the way we need it to function. We're going to throw it into a retrograde orbit around the moon, which means we're going to go backwards to do a lot of science while we're out there, too. So the whole purpose of this Artemis 1 mission is to prepare for Artemis 2, when we're actually going to put crew on there. We're going to put astronauts on there. And there's a very important reason why it was named Artemis. Artemis is the sister of Apollo. So NASA is very serious when they say that the Artemis mission is going to bring the next man and the first woman to the moon.
Pretty exciting. And we've been watching a lot about this in the news with both the U.S. and China leading efforts to build bases on the south pole of the moon. Can you talk about the significance of having a base there and what would it be used for?
Well, we've spent so very little time on the moon when you get right down to it. Yes, the Apollo program landed astronauts there, and we spent increasing amounts of time with increasingly smart people. We finally put a geologist up there on Apollo 17, but there's so much more to learn on the moon. So putting a permanent base there is going to allow us to really dig deep, literally, and do some more important science. But before that base is established, the plan is to put something not unlike the International Space Station in orbit around the moon and take day trips down to the moon. It's kind of an unforgiving place. So again, we've really worked a lot of these technologies out on the ISS. So we're going to apply that on the moon with an orbiting space station called Gateway.
Boy, it's just remarkable. I wish my dad were alive to be able to see this. He would have us out in our backyards and we'd be watching the launches or watching Skylab even go over at that point. So very exciting to see this technology. I know you'll be watching it too early Monday morning.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much. We've been speaking with NASA Ambassador Tony Rice. Thanks, Tony.
That is fascinating.